everyone, Fox here, and apparently State of Decay 3 has had an announcement trailer. I think it was done with the Xbox game show or something, and I'm going to be reacting and analyzing the trailer, and I'd recommend that you watch the trailer yourself first if you haven't already, because I'm going to be constantly pausing and speculating, because that's what I do here. So if you want to see the trailer just played out cleanly, I'd recommend doing that and then coming back over here. So, I don't know, let's get started. Okay, so this is kind of the first area that I want to talk about, because I've already watched the trailer to think about some things. So let's back up a little bit, actually. So what we have here is a scene of a campsite. And so this is what you're always asking in these kinds of trailers. Is this just something cool for the trailer, or is this relevant to the gameplay? Because is camping going to be a thing? And I'm going to link that up to something else. Here comes my next question. So she screams and scares the animal away. Now there's some interesting implications there involving. Normally you don't want to make noise in State of Decay 2. Normally making noise is a bad thing, but in this game, is making noise potentially a good thing? Is it potentially are there times where you actually do want to make noise to scare animals away? So here we have a cold weather environment, and this is where I'm going to get back to what my earlier question about camping was, coming up in next sections, because I got two questions about this. Is the cold weather important, or is it just cosmetic? So look at how she's going across this rugged terrain. Let's pause it right here. Two questions. Look how she's going across this rugged terrain, and think about how she's camping. Is this an implication that maybe driving your car is going to be less important in State of Decay 3? Because think about it this way, if you can't drive your car, but you need to go farther away from your base, it might make sense that you need to camp. And maybe when you camp, you get camping skills, kind of like Darkest Dungeon, actually. And there's also this question of, like, does the cold weather matter? Is it just a cool thing that, oh, it's cold? Is it cosmetic, or is the cold weather going to play a role in the game? So here we have her tracking. Once again, is this a survival mechanic in the game? Is tracking, do you need to hunt for food? Is that what this is implying here, or is it just a cool thing to do? Is it just a cool thing for the trailer? So here we have the wolf that she scared away is being eaten. One of my questions is, are we going to be seeing regular wildlife and zombified wildlife? Let's pause it right here. So here we've got a zombified deer. Obviously ironic that the deer has eaten the wolf, because normally you'd expect it to be the other way around. But my questions here are, so obviously we're going to have new zombified wildlife as enemies. In State of Decay 1 and 2, that has never existed. There aren't zombified wildlife in State of Decay 1 or 2. Is that because they just could never implement zombified wildlife as enemies? Or is there a lore reason for it? Were there always zombified animals that they just couldn't depict in the game? Or has the zombie condition evolved where it's now communicable between humans and animals? Or is it, is it just an overreaction? Here's a question. If it affects animals now, is that wolf about to, like, get up in a few hours and become a zombie wolf? Is that what's going to happen? And so obviously we've got State of Decay 3. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions there. You know, is the cold weather, is that just a cosmetic thing? Or is cold weather going to be a part of the game mechanics? Like, why all this rugged mountaineering? Is there going to be less of an emphasis on vehicles? Do we need to go out on foot more? I actually would think that's a good thing because I think the vehicles do make the game a little too easy. I think also the idea that she's going on her own. You know, are you going to be just playing by yourself? Is there going to be maybe different stages of community development where maybe you start out on your own and you have to survive on your own for a bit? Or maybe she's just going out on a mission, a solo mission, and the fact that she has to camp, is that relevant to the game? Is camping in the game? Like, do you need to camp because you're too far away from your home base to get back in time, and she's camping at night and traveling during the day? Is that relevant? Is there a way to skip through the night phase in State of Decay 3? Because a lot of people, they don't like playing at night because there's really no benefit to playing at night, and if you want to wait until daytime, you got to wait basically like 45 minutes in State of Decay 2, and honestly, in State of Decay 1, you got to wait a while for night to turn into day. So is the camping a way to pass the night into the daytime? Is the camping a way maybe you can like use certain skills when you're camping? Does it mean that, you know, there's less driving cars, there's going to be more on foot survival? I think that would be a good idea because you're just so much more vulnerable on foot than in a car. Like, the car is just so strong in both of the State of Decay games. And of course, we've got this idea of new enemies, zombie wildlife. I think that's a really good idea. They didn't really add any new enemies in State of Decay 2. I mean, yes, you had the Blood Plague zombies, and then you had the Blood Plague freak variants, but honestly, they're really not different from the standard zombies. So adding in completely new enemies, I think that's something they should be doing in every single game. And if the cold weather makes a difference, if we are using vehicles left off, if we're actually traveling on foot more often, and there's this whole camping and the hunting aspect, are we hunting for food now? Is it harder to find food because it's in the winter? These are all things that I think are steps definitely in the right direction for the game to push State of Decay into more of a survival game and less of just like Grand Theft Auto with zombies in it. At any rate, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Oh yeah, I did hear on Twitter that State of Decay 3 is in like early production, so this trailer is probably not going to manifest as a video game for like 2 years. So, you know, like don't get like excessively excited, you know, like remember that we've still got probably a long ways to go before the game actually comes out. I'll definitely be playing it. I'll definitely be making stuff for it. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Subscribe for future State of Decay 2 content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.